come on here because I have so many outdated videos, and the biggest one is the essential oil video. Um, the best essential oil company. So I feel so bad that this is not updated. Um, I went through obviously many essential oil companies in that video. And I found out later some like not so amazing news. Okay. So what I found out was that a lot of the companies that they weren't my top picks, but they were my list of okay picks is just, it's not anything I'd recommend anymore. So plant therapy, Eden's Garden, some of the other brands after being called out. So someone was just like, their essential oils are full of herbicides and pesticides and heavy metals and all these things. And I was just like, no, no, I looked at they have GCMS testing. Well, GCMS testing doesn't say anything about herbicides, pesticides, or contaminants in oils. So, what it is, are there just markers kind of proving that the oil is what it says it is? And some of the GCMS testing doesn't even prove that because a lot of us don't know how to read them. So, uh, the sad thing is I called a couple of the companies, plant therapy being one of them. And I said, okay, I need to know this. Are there pesticides and herbicides in your oils? And they say, we don't test for that. And I was just like, well, why not? Well, they said, if you're concerned about herbicides and pesticides in your oils, then stick with our organic blends. And I was like, you literally have like maybe six organic oils. And they're like, yeah, we'd probably stick to those ones. And I'm like, but if you are making blends that are meant to be diffused and they're concentrated oils and they're going into your lungs and they're going into your skin, don't you think those should be free of herbicides and pesticides because they're concentrated? You'd be putting concentrated herbicides and pesticides into your lungs, into your body. And they're like, yeah, you might want to stick with the organic essential oils if you're worried about that. And I was just like, clearly I'm worried about that. Okay. So then I was like looking at Eden's Garden and I'm like, even some of their oils aren't even pure essential oils. They add different types and extracts of botanicals and things like that. And it's the same situation where um unless you are choosing an organic option, which I don't even know if Eden's Garden or I don't even know if the Eden's Garden carries any organic options. I haven't looked in years, but after being called out and started calling companies, I was very much like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad. Even some of the Amazon companies that had GCMS testing, I just assumed because I didn't know better that GCMS testing meant that oils were clean, and they're not. It just means they are what they say they are, but even not even to that extent. You have to really know how to read them, which no normal person can read GCMS testing. A lot of companies will add synthetics. They'll buy from oil brokers, which I would say the vast majority of essential oil companies buy from oil brokers, and oil brokers will hand them testing on the oils, but they're not third party testing them to make sure that those tests are true. So it gets really really sticky and really gross in the essential oil business. I still think that Florahana, that was my top pick back then. I still think that Florahana is a very solid choice because most of their oils are organic or wild harvested. But you do have to look at each essential oil to make sure that it is distilled without chemicals because there were some of the oils that I contacted them about that didn't say how some of the oils were distilled or extracted, and they actually used hexane, which is a solvent that's really nasty that's also used in other types of industries that's very toxic, which made me super sad. So I do think that Florahana definitely is still a good option, but you do have to look at the fine print to see um, how the oils are extracted. So, like I said, you have to do a little bit more digging on each one. And it's typically the florals, the more expensive floral oils, where they will use the hexane because they can get more bang for their buck. I am not super concerned with the oils that are the floral oils that are extracted with like ethanol. We're using like alcohol, but I am concerned with solvents like hexane. I think that that's something you don't want to be getting into your body, into your lungs. Um, so there is a lot more concern. And I feel bad not having an update in so many years, but I haven't been on here. I spend most of my time on Instagram, but I wanted to kind of slowly trickle back in here because I do like having videos and educational videos in one place as much as possible whenever I can. And this is kind of the place where I like to do that. So I'm going to try to come back here and do a lot more educational videos. But I did want to give people the heads up. I did do doTERRA for a while because I saw that they had really good third party testing for purity. Um, I don't love, I'll still be honest, I don't love the MLM companies. Um, I wish they had a very straightforward option for people to purchase. And I wish they had better compensation plans for like hardworking moms like you and me that want to be able to sell them where they don't have to spend in order to get paid. I think that that is a fatal flaw for these companies and it's a real turnoff. I know a lot of them, they offer, free for the first year. So you don't have to pay, the sign up fees and you don't have to buy big kits from a lot of these companies anymore. But I just don't love um, how they'll get a lot of people in selling them and then when they people can no longer afford to place their 100 PV orders every month, they no longer get paid. So the people at the top of the chain get all of the money. And I feel like that's how a lot of MLM companies set people up for failure. It's like they hope that people stop paying their monthly dues and stop getting paid because then they can redistribute that money to the top of the food chain. I do think that their oils are clean and they're good. They changed their testing from third party into in-house, which I think is sketch to say the least. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying they're doing anything bad. I just think that they should be doing third party testing. I personally asked for tests like when I was doing some of it because I was like I looked and I was like okay, this company's cleaner and legit. But I asked for like mold and mycotoxin testing and easier to read reports for the everyday person and they said they were going to work on it and it didn't happen, but they do have testing on their source to you website. um, so I definitely think it is an option. It's not something I'm personally offering or monetizing because I just don't like how the company works when it comes to those things. So I'm also going to be looking for other options. I've looked and seen third party testing for a lot of brands, and they looked bad to say the least. So I do want to say that I still think that Florahana is going to be one of your most affordable, clean options for the majority of the oils that you can get. But you do have to go and look at the fine print. If it doesn't say how something's extracted, I would suggest sending them an email and making sure. Um, but I just wanted to share that update because my channel was a lot about essential oils and aromatherapy. It's helped me so much over the years. Mountain Rose Herbs does also have quite a few organic options. I didn't find the strength of their oils to be as pungent or robust as a lot of the Florahana or the doTERRA oils, but they do have quite a few organic options. And I feel like I trust them as a company. So Mountain Rose Herbs is definitely a valid option. And I also have heard good things about Vibrant Blue. I haven't tried them personally or asked for testing, but I have heard good things. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Quick little video on kind of like essential oil update until I have something full to recommend. I wanted to at least have this here. Hey, bye.